Welcome to the Truth to You Daily Podcast, a podcast designed for teenagers who want to learn more about God's Word and how it impacts our daily lives. Journey with us as we set out to explore God's timeless truth one day at a time. Hello, the date is February the 13th, and it is Wednesday. Congratulations on making it halfway through your week. I'm excited, of course, because Wednesday means teen time and get to spend time around God's Word, studying it with other teenagers. Hey, we're looking at our memory verse, which is Galatians chapter 5 and verse 26, and this is our final day. And so hopefully you have it memorized up to this point, but let's go ahead and hear it again. Galatians 5:26, let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another. Galatians 5:26, let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another. I hope that you'll commit that to your memory and to your heart knowledge as well. We're in 1 Samuel chapter 20, and we are moving through the book of 1 Samuel. Won't be long, and we'll be headed on to another book. But I want us to look at verse 33 here, because this is where the principle is that we'll be noticing. The Bible says this, and Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him, whereby Jonathan knew that it was determined of his father to slay David. I want to talk to you just for a second about listening to reason. Have you ever met someone that could not be reasoned with? That just, no matter how hard you tried, you just couldn't seem to cut through with logic and with just, common knowledge. Yeah, well, Saul he's that guy. Right now, he's in that position. His own son is trying to talk him out of killing David. And Jonathan here, he asks Saul, and really this was his mistake. He's trying to reason with a very unreasonable person. And he asks Saul, his father, he asks him why David must die. Of course, he's trying to figure out what David has done wrong. And of course, Saul doesn't have an answer for this. So in this moment, Saul reveals that he is not to be reasoned with. And Saul, he throws a spear at his own son. Saul's an unspiritual, emotional man whose mind has been greatly clouded in judgment, and thus we have this result. He's resulting to physical violence because he's in overload. He can't handle it, and he doesn't want to handle it, and he doesn't want to talk about it. He's just acting out. He can't reason anymore. He has resigned himself to the use of force in order to get what he wants. The truth is, Saul knew deep down that he was wrong. And he was fighting that realization however he could. And anyone that stood in his way was going to get trampled on. And that's who's in the path here? Who's in the path of the wrath of Saul? Well, his own son, Jonathan is. And Jonathan gets this javelin thrown at him. And, he does the right thing. He leaves. He just gets out. And, when you reach a point, whether you're dealing with another teenager or you're dealing with someone and you're trying to reason with them on a level of just talking through something, and when that person that you're speaking to results to maybe just yelling or an over display of emotion, or when they reach a point to where they're even resulting to physical violence, there are times that you need to take yourself out of the situation. You need to say, okay, nothing I say is going to be helpful here. I've sort of hit a wall, a barrier, and the best thing that I can do is leave this person, leave them to themselves, and ultimately leave them to the Lord. It was not Jonathan's job, although he tried to change his dad's mind. That was not necessarily his responsibility, although he did try. He ultimately failed. But the truth is, when we encounter a person who's not reasonable, sometimes the best thing that we can do is just to remove ourselves from that situation. And then on the flip side of this, if we are that unreasonable person, if we're that person who, when we reach a point in the argument and we've been had, so to speak. We have nothing left to say because we know that we're wrong. Listen, just take a breath and just acknowledge your wrong point of view and move on. It's always the best thing to do. We need to be people who can reason, but we also need to be people who can understand a situation has reached its limits and remove ourselves from it. Hey, listen to reason, teenager. Saul didn't. One of his many faults. Hey, thanks for joining us today. Before we go, just want to mention our teenager of the day and who we're praying for, and that is Mauricio. So please spend some extra time praying for him today and ask the Lord to be magnified in his life. Hey, we hope that you'll join us again tomorrow. As always, it's a pleasure, and we look forward to seeing you back here again at another time. Take care. Have a great day.